of a mighty world, how the Boule protects secret societies, servant to the king. Stephen Coakley. This is Black Educational Network 9019.
And it can continue again through us. Now that's kind of double. It says, the round table lives only in poetic life and history. They can live again in life, and we can make them live through us. It can continue as a dream, and it can continue again through us. Now that's kind of double shit, ain't it? You're looking at the shit that ain't making much sense, but it's encoded. You see, secret society can do things in overt ways if you don't know the code. The only thing both of them are talking about is about the fair order of the table round. A model for a mighty world, meaning that, and what is this thing right here with a pike or a spoke on it?
And they're going over the 360 degrees of, what did they say?
And inside, you cannot see it, but there's a wheel representing the 360 degrees of knowledge.
Okay, the 360 degrees of knowledge. I want to make sure I got that right.
You know, every time I come here, I read from this book. I talk about Carol Quigley, who wrote Birth, described the circle between the circle's two sides. I picked up Quigley's dialogue in the book, The Rockefeller File, none that call it conspiracy, bought the book Tragedy and Hope, 1,300 pages, found the Jane Addams, Arnold Toynbee, Rockefeller, Oppenheimer, Rothschild connection, and the Cicerones coming together in a secret society. And in the back of the book, he names the names of who was in the various circles of authority. Now, the word that was...
Who was in the various circles of the society of the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds? They're interconnected. Whoo! We've been covering that all this year and last year. And all the years before that, technically. We're just now making the whole full connection. Oh, did you? You hit 73K? Congratulations. Mr. Stepper 88. Awesome. That's cool. Congratulations to your achievements. Keep striving, keep going. And hope that you're doing it for all the right reasons, that you prosper. Okay, hello. Hi, child. Wait, is it a child? I thought that was one of my children popping up in here. We got little kiddos that be popping in here. I'm like, get your little tail, go do your homework, go do some grounding, go do something. Go do something positive. There's grown folk talking around here. And, you know, unless you can take it, unless you can do it, deal with the information the right way, please. What's up? 2922. Thank you guys for like, shares, and subscribes. Thank you guys so much. What's up, Lola? Hi. Hi, everybody. I'm going to let this play for a little bit because it's very detailed. And this video is called How the Boule Protects Secret Society Society's servant to the king, Stephen Coakley. That's what the title of the video is. The name of the channel is at Black Educational Network 9019. Okay, that's not even supposed to be doing that. Why is it doing that? Okay, so I'm gonna let this video play a little bit. Listen to it, has some good information on there.
Looking for is used. Read the boy's book. Look how many times he quotes Lord Tennyson. Look at the Boule history book and look how many times they quote Lord Tennyson. Check. Go find out what it was about Lord Tennyson that makes all these Boule Negroes quote him. It's very important. But look at what words do you find in both of those dialogues, eh?
Cool the snowball.
But two words that come out the same. What words do you holler it out? What two words are in both? I heard it. Round table.
Round table.
Now look at what Wesley says. The round table lives only in poetic life and history. They can live again in life, and we can make them live through us. It can continue as a dream, and it can continue again through us. Now that's kind of mumbo shit, ain't it? You're looking at the shit that ain't making much sense.
Decoded.
But it's encoded. You see, a secret society can do things in overt ways if you don't know the code. The only thing both of them are talking about is about the fair order of the table round. A model for a mighty world, meaning that, and what is this thing right here with a pike or a spoke on it? A pike on it. Charles Wesley uses, as Tennyson does, the dialogue that the round table is somehow connected to something that the Boule does in protecting the high evil one. You with me? Now, Carol Quigley, who we would consider the absolute authority on the subject, and I read this to you 1,000 times in his preface of his book, he describes words to describe what the secret society of Rhodes was about. Remember, the Rhodes Scholarship established by the terms of Cecil Rhodes VII's will are known to everyone. What is not so widely known is that Rhodes in his 5 previous wills left his fortune to form a secret society, which was to devote itself to the preservation and expansion of the British Empire. Are they doing better or are they doing worse? Is there doubt in your mind? Now you got a president who slept with another woman for 12 years and called your governor mafia. Yeah. But the point of it is that this network is on the rise. They defeated the Skull and Bones network.
Thank you, guys.
And don't you think George Bush's wing didn't fall off his plane for nothing? They tried to kill his ass 2 days ago. I'm telling you, the Jewish community don't like George Bush. In fact, that ADL story I'm about to walk you into is being backed up by some of George Bush's buddies who holds the ADL responsible for part of the reason why he ain't president. You remember I came right to this podium and I talked about that white-on-white conflict between the Bush and the Anglo and the Jewish connection. And, in case you didn't see it, the most suppressed story in America, 2 days after Clinton was elected, was the story about David Steiner. What is David Steiner? What did he do? How many seats are holding here? How many? About 700? David Steiner was the president of the strongest lobby in the U.S. Congress. AIPAC, the American Israeli Political Action Committee. He said on the telephone with another Jewish man named Katz, who he asked for a $200,000 donation. He said, we got this Clinton in our goddamn pocket. We're going to have National Security Advisor, State Department. We got all the jobs. This is our nigga. And Katz recorded his phone call. But the important thing was that the story didn't come and went. 40 out of 71 spots. 41 out of 71 spots. The most important spots. Now, y'all voted for him. I got the pictures of y'all. Y'all got y'all voters registration card at the house. Because while y'all was in that police shop, then y'all pulled Clinton ass. Y'all know it. I got the precinct returns. I was better at that before I got to this than I got to this. Now, this society has been known at various times as Milner's Kindergarten.
Milner's Kindergarten. What?
What'd that say?
What do you want us to focus on? Healing the inner child, please, and thank you.
Now, what are we doing? What are we trying to do here?
Oh,
Because we fucking
it flipped over.
dots.
It's good. Self-love, self-care.
Is there a group in the black community called the Round Table? So they're not talking about one of our groups, are they? Lord Tennyson don't even know nothing about us. He dead. But actually, it did have something to do with this guy. That picture I got from you. But put good use to it. Brother got me some good pictures. That's the man that put that thing together. Was a faggot. Never slept with a woman in his life. And in the December 12th issue of Nation magazine, he says, I built my dynasty out of the Kaffir's belly. Right. Now, that to me inconclusively, that put that thing together was a faggot.
Let me show y'all the face of who he's talking about so y'all will recognize this guy right here. It is what it is. A lot of them means is gay, bruh. And put on the facade for the religious value of keeping people in traps. How many people are finding out about that shit now, being exposed for that shit right now? So many. Come on.
Never slept with a woman in his life. And in the December 12th issue of Nation magazine, he said, I built my dynasty out of the Kaffir's belly. Right. Now, that to me inconclusively. Let me know that the bootleg in fact protects secret society. Now, take it back. Had a bootleg guy on the radio the other day. I had a big lecture in Washington, D.C. His name was Wesley Brown. He's the first nigga to graduate from the Naval Academy. He was on WOL. I was supposed to be on, but I got canceled. Because they were doing a Memphis Appeal story. They had Dick Gregory and Mark Wayne on for like 6-7 days in a row. So everybody got canceled. Even though I tried to tell them I could help their story. Because I went beyond the Memphis. See, Memphis is a story to send you one way. Well, I say, since you brought it up, I'm going to take the story back my way.
Ace of Cups.
See, they bring the Malcolm thing up. You going to take the story that way? Well, great. I'm going to bring the Malcolm shit back over here my way. I don't care what they bring up. Ain't no one group. And we got the horses to be able to hold them back together to prevent that. This is me and Wesley Brown calling him in.
Queen of Cups.
Thank you very much. Brother, I don't think about me now. Okay. Thank you. All right. 413,
Clear cuts.
Thank you for holding. You have 1450 with Mr. Wesley Brown.
Yes, Mr. Brown, I appreciate it. As you heard him talk, you talked earlier about that story in regards to the War Department, Secretary of War, right?
Shit.
National security. I'm sure you saw in the story a particular name who was
World.
the special assistant to Emmett Scott. Excuse me, special assistant to Newton Baker, and the name was Emmett Scott. Right. And that of the Boule, who eventually became the grandsire archon of Boule. And I'd like you to tell the audience what does the word Boule mean? Why is the organization somewhat secret? Why is it sort of Greek? And what could you tell us about it?
Well, I would rather.
Now listen. Why am I doing this? I already know that he can't answer. But it's not for me that I'm doing it. It's for you. Because you
The
need
world.
to see what I'm trying to say, verified by the ones I'm saying it against. Check. This is no more than a document or an exhibit to be presented at a trial. Right? All we doing is latent leg work. And counsel come
Queen
in
of
and put this
Swords.
shit in the legalese and boom, we'll be off. All right?
You're on that, only because I don't think it's true.
Okay, he's going to do this. And what could you tell us about it?
Well, I would rather demur on that, only because I don't think it's germane to our discussion of the military. And you did sneak it in there a little bit with regard to his Emmett Scott's relationship to Secretary of War, but I would rather not really go into it.
Does the rule of the organization, does the rules of the organization prohibit you from discussing the organization with non-members? And the problem becomes, Brother Brown, is that since 1904, our people have not had the benefit of understanding what the organization's role is, so that when we ask in a very humane and plausible way, it's somewhat similar to the answer you give, because we understand if it is so that the rules of the organization prohibit you from having this bridge directly to your people about the value of the
It's
organization.
cups.
And as you can see, many people,
Five of Swords.
I'm sure you see the flyers around and in the paper with the story in it about this meeting on the Boule tonight. And you can see why we must meet. You ought to see how many people are going to be there who want to know, and you have the opportunity to tell us now. Will you
Five of
tell us
Cups.
now?
Four of
No,
Cups.
no, I don't think this is germane. That was my first comment. I'll stick with 2 minutes.
Tower, Sun.
Prohibit you from discussing it.
Tower and the Sun.
Well, he prefers, brother, to not even respond to it at this time. What I would do is speak with Ms. Brown off the microphone to see if he might be amenable to having a discussion on that particular subject matter to the extent of his knowledge and familiarity with it at another date.
I appreciate the opportunity, really I do. And I just turn to the people and say, I see y'all tonight, and now y'all know why.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Now, remember, those are the names of their members. Those are cities that they're in. They have a wide organization. That's the order of when the first one started on down and on up. They start with the Greek alphabet, and then they start doing it twice. So once they get to Chi, Psi, whatever, then it goes alpha, 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 beta, alpha, gamma, alpha, delta, alpha, epsilon. And of course, you see New York come in right after Washington, which came in right after Memphis. They're right, the Zeta chapter. And in fact, I thought it was interesting in the history book of the Boule, when they showed the Memphis chapter, because I go right to Memphis to look for those Boule. Look how they put the triangle behind the Delta Boule's logo, organized June 17th, 1910, Memphis, Tennessee. And of course, the Trilateral Commission uses that same symbolism in their triangle papers. Also, those three arrows, when they're pushed together, form the same triangle. And so, we're now talking about a group that uses the number 9, uses symbolism. It also has many friends. This organization has over 33.
Ultimately, what they're saying is the British, the Russians, are like, these people are all related. And what they did was breed with different indigenous people of the world, and they're to eradicate the most melanated population by these different illusions and distractions, mainly, but then also by the authoritarian that wants to rule. Ultimately, is the like law enforcement, as everybody is. It is kind of funny, like how I'm seeing like circles right here.
100 members now. It's in 95 different cities, and it has one African chapter in Liberia, headquartered in Monrovia, after Monroe, the white president, who sent their asses over there. But just look, think of a city that you see, and think of friends you need to call to be on the alert and look out for the names. Now, one thing I want to say, Brother Overspeed can vouch for this. I spoke in Philadelphia on the Boule, and the black press in Philadelphia condemned me. Called me hoot-handed, boot-talking, revolutionary, lap-logging, inflammatory researcher. And it says that the Boule are friends of the black community in Philadelphia, and they need to be honored and emulated rather than destroyed. But I can look on this city, on this list. Oh, we're going to show him in a minute. I know I kicked that ass in Durham. I kicked that ass in San Diego. I kicked that ass in Buffalo. I kicked that ass in Indianapolis. Dallas, Fort Worth, kicked that ass real good. Cincinnati, kicked that ass in New Orleans, kicked that ass in Nashville. In Nashville, in Tennessee State, the Boule logo is right in the walls of the theater. Because Smiths, see, all of the predominantly black colleges' presidents are Boule members. In fact, at one point, Jackie Robinson ridiculed Malcolm X for not speaking at any of the black schools. But the reality was the black schools wouldn't let him speak. And just like that, Copley, Tuskegee, the president, come out and stop the students from writing up the check. At Southern, they just put down the $1,500 lecture because they said the president would not allow them. At Alabama State, the students had to walk out to try to get Copley to speak, and that didn't help them either. At Hampton University, Uncle Bill Harvey.
606. I seen 404 earlier.
From coming on the campus to speak. At Morgan State, the President Richardson called the state troopers to the campus to throw me off the campus to stop me from speaking. And as long as I've been at Howard giving 50 different lectures, not a one of them ever been financed by Howard. I just rent the rooms. And so we're now talking about a whole group of black things, public schools, teachers, high schools, and then colleges built by a group of whites to keep militant blacks off the set and to protect the big, rich white man to continue to do the evil, to bring the world in unity for the rise of their Antichrist. All right.
Thanks.
I couldn't tell you how honored I am as I go around the country and watch different groups come out In Chicago, they put boule stuff on the street. That's African Minds United in LA. Putting out boule information. People taking it upon themselves to flush that boule stuff into the street, to put pressure on them. And even though I was attacked by the president of ASCAC in Ziglarata in Atlanta in September for fucking with the boule, because I'm supposed to know better, the Negroes tell me. But the boule didn't attack me. The president of ASCAC did. Told me that the boule gonna finance their scholars. You need to ask. Now, this is Brother Marcus walking down the aisle with a roll of tickets. I'm gonna auction off a boule videotape. The raffle tickets are $1. It should be 1,000 of them sold. And I'm gonna, as many raffles I bought, I'm gonna give off a video. So if there's $75 worth, I'm gonna give off 3 of them. And the brothers got them going up the aisle, get them while we're talking. And the one who wins, those that win for $1 will really be honored. And I want you to call me. I've had people call me when they won. And you ought to hear what they say about getting something for $1. You pay a lot of people. This is just something to allow people with less money to take a chance on winning something that they might not afford. And brother will take care of that. We'll do that quietly.
Exactly.
But a tape that I did in Houston got caught in the hands of the
And that's what we're going to do on this channel.
And the boule then went out and attacked me. A medical doctor in Columbia, South Carolina, attacked me when the ASCAC just had their national
Soon as we reach
in March. He attacked me and said that we in the boule don't like you, Copley. You are a threat to our existence. And I said, 9 is the combination, and I'm turning them locks, brother. You better quit if you're going to stop it. And so, ASCACs, not the organization, though some of them have come to support her for things they don't even understand, which is blind loyalty. That can be dangerous. But the president of ASCAC in Ziglarata works for IBM. Oh, blue eyes. Even though they done laid off thousands of people, they ain't laid her off. And if you sitting up running an African classical study and organization and running up in my white corporation, if you wasn't able to bet what I'm doing, your ass out of work. So she works well, pays well. And I have said to her, you can never put yourself in position of standing up for something that you don't understand. And if money is the only reason why you're doing it, ask others. We might be able to help you if money is all you're looking for. But anyway, there's a tape back there called Special Message to the Boule, Threats, Intimidations, and Warnings. You need to check that. That's the video where I'm going to auction off. Now I'm going to jump off of the boule. Not because I don't have more about the boule to say, but I want to do the ABL like real quick. Also, I want to mention Julius Chambers and Honorable Robert Carter and Mr. Serena Buford to go with Brisbane and Mr. Kenneth Chenault and Mr. Malcolm Corrin and Mr. Leonard DePaul. Y'all know that Corrin? He was your classmate? Oglesby, he done went to school, played golf, and hung out with more boule than any black man in America ain't a boule. That's Brother Oglesby down there. We're going to have a big day in Philadelphia coming up soon in June. We will. All right, appreciate you, brother. I also should be back in town May 8th at the When Worlds Collide over in downtown Brooklyn. For those of you that have to leave early, there are tapes of mine in that back alley called Sisters back there with Little Mayat. Enough, our baby is named Mayat, but the name came from New York. There was a little old sister, and I don't know if a sister, I know sister isn't here tonight. We met her at the Brooklyn Street Fest. Little short sister has used to wear this little gold silver hat down on her head. She gave sister and I a card of Osiris and Mayat. And during sister's pregnancy, sister said, you need to rub this Mayat on sister's stomach. And we did it all throughout the pregnancy. Everywhere we went, we still got those 2 little cards in our baby bag. And a sister would remember this sister. I just don't remember the sister's name. You remember the sister's name? You know what I'm talking about? That sister gave us those cards. We kept those cards, waved them on sister's stomach, and when the baby was born, we for so sure thought it was a boy who was going to be Malcolm Marcus. That we didn't have a girl's name, so when the baby was born, it was a girl. We looked around for a name, and that little Maya card just fell right out the bag. And that the baby was named Maya. I need to find this sister. I need to let her know. She does not know. I was not able to call her, but I need to let her know her impact on her sister and myself. One thing I want to mention as I jump off the boule is that one thing I want you to remember that the first Black Rhodes Scholar was Elaine Locke. Elaine Locke was the first Black Rhodes Scholar, was one of the early members of the boule in Washington, D.C.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is that him? I think I'm done.
That was Ernest Just, the founder of Omega Sci-Fi. And Omega should get that spin guard off their
That's hilarious.
How many Omegas in here? Bill Cosby and others. Now, Elaine makes this statement. I just want to say it quick. The dumb, dark masses have shown a more ready and ripe for action than the minds of the leaders and the educated few. Locke is talking about, we have for the president, in spite of Marcus Garvey's heroic efforts, no Zionistic hope or intention. You see, they blamed Marcus Garvey for being a black Zionist. So these Negroes repudiated black Zionism, and when Marcus Garvey went to jail, they came out and said, woo, we defeated him, and we have no desire to be what he wanted. But the dumb masses, were urgently in need of a new opiate, for which we well understand, and Garveyism has shown how much more ready, right for action than the minds of the leaders and the educated few, the masses were. Meaning that after they wiped Marcus Garvey out, they looked down and say, the black man was really ready for him. And then he goes on to say, I hope we didn't make a mistake. Well, you did. But also remember, by making Elaine Locke the first black scholar, Rhodes Scholar, and Cecil Rhodes was a colonist, you start the process of the Rhodes Society Roundtable, linking with the Boule Society, subordinate to the Roundtable. Boule is advisory to or subordinate to. Real quick on the spy story in Martin, says 8 Green Berets down in Memphis at the time Martin King was killed. It also says that the Army spied on the black man. It's a picture of the Army behind a car. They're in the back seat of a car with all kind of radio equipment, listening to different things on the radio, and it shows them sitting at the back seat of a car with all this electronic equipment, bottom of the car, fixed into the car back seat, listening to all sorts of radio and other activity in the neighborhoods. This is the Memphis Commercial Appeal again about that story. I just wanted to mention that. There's loads of things in the story. I have one copy. Do you all have copies of the story? March 21st, 1993. We need to make these available for the people. That's just something we need to do. Now, let me step off of that, because one of the founders of the NAACP was Rabbi Stephen Wise, who also just happened to be one of the founders of the Anti-Defamation League. So now what we're saying is that we can hook the ADL and the NAACP through the uniformity in its founders. But what you must know about the ADL is that it is a fraternal order. It is a subsidiary of the Fraternal Order of B'nai B'rith. And you must never forget that. That is most important. In the story, in the ADL story, and I want to just at least put one segment of the story on the wall so you can see it. I think one of the more important parts, I'm going to see if I can blow it up. This is the San Francisco example. And I'll move fast because I know the worst thing in life is working for the white man. It's nothing. There is no scummier, lower position with your people some of you will need to go because he demands and puts guilt on you when you don't have your body in good work tomorrow when he starts to pay you.
That's fucked up.
And you should feel bad. There's nothing filthy in life than doing what a white man says for money.
Yeah.
And I wish you all got fired.
Hey.
Dr. John W. Parker, Godfrey Moraine, Dr. Marcus Moore, Dr. Thomas Winter, Mr. Donald L. Miller, Cornelius McDougal, Eugene McCabe, Judge Richard Bryant Lowell III, Mr. George R. Lewis, Mr. Ed Lewis, Mr. Edward Joseph Levy, Dr. Robert Lemieux, Mr. Ulysses S.K., Lowell Douglas Johnston, attorney. Oh, brother, you have to get it out the tape. I couldn't go that slow now. We laid it, I got to keep going. Mr. Jed Vincent Johnson, Mr. John E. Jacob, Mr. John E. Hutchinson III, Mr. Edward C. Horn, Mr. Benjamin Crooks, Mr. Paul Haywood, that was Slopes Crooks, Mr. Reverend Dr. T.S. Harrington, Conrad K. Harper, Esquire, Dr. Bernard Warren Harrelson, Charles J. Hamilton Jr. Brother just gave me a tape when Charles Hamilton was on Bob Law show. When the brother called in and said, "You're on the boule, Coakley said so." And then Bob Law acted like he'd been looking for me. I've been looking for Coakley. You can get him on there. Sorry, Bob. You haven't been looking for me at all. I've been here several times. Brother knows my number. You're not lacking for finding me. You're not looking for me. But when pressed, you act like you're looking for me. Earl Graves, Jack Greenberg, who, like Jack Greenberg, is a white boy attorney from the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, and like Joe Spingard, he was an honorary member of the Boule. Earl Graves, Charles B. Hamilton, Dr. Arwen Grenadi, Dr. Joseph Henry French, Mr. Kenneth A. Forday, Mr. Clarence Finley, Christopher Etley, Edward Dudley Jr., the Honorable Edward Dudley Jr. and Honorable Edward Dudley and the Edward Dudley Jr. There's a family thing. Dr. Harold Doley, Dr. Walt Delph, Dr. Harry Delaney. We also got Benjamin Parker, Barrington Parker, Roberto Reed, Robert Roan, Dr. Enrique, Mr. Harvey C. Russell, Mr. Williams Nichols Riles, Mr. Frank Savage, Dr. Melvin Shelton, Dr. Theodore Stent, Dr. Donald Stewart, Dr. William Taylor, Mr. Frank L. Thompson, Dr. Wyatt T. Walker, Dr. Wyatt E. Walker, 52 Delaware Road, Yonkers, Dr. Robert Weaver, big time connect. I come from LA. Get the recess show, the brother from LA. Yeah, didn't he die? The brother from LA. And you said y'all died. There was 3 of them, wasn't it? That's deep. That's deep, brother. That's deep. Listen to me now. What'd you say? Jeremiah Shabazz is the last one. There were 3 brothers that spoke here that night. 2 of them dead. That's deep. And they spoke on the spot the next day. Right? I saw the tape. I watched the tape in Watson. Brother sent me the tape. I'm all over the country. I said, I need to talk to Yusef Shaw. He come. I said, I need to talk to Alex Haley. And sometimes they may get to them before we do. Listen. In Spike Lee's book, he asked him, who killed Malcolm? He talked about zealots. The word zealots is used. Go back and see who interviewed and called himself zealot. That's just check. You got to do your research. That's a whole nother subject. Got some Malcolm X analysis shit back there. That's another thing. Now, let's go back to the ADL. The ADL's in a tripartite thing with South Africa, Israel, and now they're setting up a network. They established that the ADL had documents from over 236 police departments. Now, when the ADL went to attack me in Chicago, and I made it clear on the radio this morning that I know the gimmick, they went to check for my criminal record. The deputy superintendent of police called me and told me they were looking for my criminal record, and I told them I didn't have one. I'd never been arrested. And he said, damn, I don't even believe there's a black man who's never been arrested. it away because I work for the mayor. Then they look to see if I stole money, and I ain't stole no money. And the comptroller called me from the city of Chicago and said, the Jewish people are here trying to get your secret money. Said, you ain't got none. You hide something. I said, I don't have no secret money. I'm the lowest paid, poorest nigga in the mayor's office. Working from 2 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning till 2 a.m. in the morning, every day. And then the ADL took those tapes from the Nation of Islam and a specific speech, compulsory education is mandatory strangulation, and thrusted it into the public and made the AIDS and Jewish doctor's statement, the statement of Steve Coakley. Just 3 days ago in the Washington Post, a story condemning Jeffries, Farrakhan, and Coakley. And he goes in there, Professor Lynn Jeffries said, racial demagogue Steve Coakley, who charged the Jewish doctor's conspiracy with the responsibility for AIDS epidemic among black babies. But the point of it is that myself and Farrakhan were not even on Liberation Radio in Los Angeles that made the story. Only Jeffries has been on. But to make it look good and bad, they put me and the minister around them and muddied it up. But we were never on. But on Monday in Washington, I had the big Boulay lecture. On Friday, the minister had a big lecture in Washington. And on Wednesday, we ended up with a fake story. Not a story on what we did, but a story pissing on us finally for doing it. Anyway, the ADL, under the guise of so-called fact-finding, early warning system, go back and look at another tape I did here. You see, I came here and told you the answer. In the other tape, the slave, I talk about the early warning system. I read the 25 organizations that are in this early warning system, which was funded by the United Way. I mentioned on the radio the day that story on the ADL today. Why were they paying the head of United Way so much? That got exposed recently is because he is closer to CIA than charity work. The head of the United Way is closer to the CIA than the Red Cross. And so the United Way may fund things that the ADL hides itself in. But the ADL was with the NAACP, the Urban League, and Operation Bush, and the United Church of Christ, and the American Jewish Congress, and the American Jewish Committee, and the Human Relations Service of Chicago, and the Department of Justice Community Relations Service, among other groups. The only point to that is that I came here to this podium, and I read you of the Early Warning Network a year and a half ago. A year and a half later, they revealed a story about a spying on the community. And I'm saying that we ought to be entitled to get it here first. And if the ADL story ran in the final call before it even ran in the New York Times, what does that say for the final call? That's right, they're doing their work. The Memphis story running the final call, I don't run in all the cities. That is the bridge to reach people. The article may be small, but it may lead you to another article. It may make you go out and find it. Now the ADL, where's the ADL's headquarters here? Yeah, I already mentioned it on the radio today, it's right under the Tribunal Commission. And when I came here, y'all put me in the hotel down there, we walked over there to the offices and couldn't even get in the lobby. We could not get in the lobby of the ADL headquarters. The Tribunal Commission in there, the Foreign Policy Association in there, and a whole bunch of other hate groups in there. The MTA is in there. What's that? Oh, yeah. Now you got a World Trade bombing, building up hysteria on Muslims. And then you got a group of guys who just walk and turn themselves in. Something funky up in here. Some don't jive. And I believe that some Jewish people bombed the place and put some jokes in the position of their evidence. I believe that, and I will never believe anything different. I will never believe somebody gonna bomb up a place and try to get a $400 refund. I will never believe that. I never would believe that the bomb would go off while the mayor was in Japan. Listen to me now. Who did that leave in charge when he wasn't here? The initial response was not put together by deacons. It was put together by other people. That's right. And you need to know that. Huh? Oh, who's that? Deputy Mayor. group of undercover operatives throughout the nation is being paid by the Anti-Defamation League to spy on pro-Palestinian, black nationalists, and white supremacist groups, according to a San Francisco law enforcement official. The operatives rely on local police and sheriff's deputies to provide access to confidential information in law enforcement files and motor vehicle information. David Dinkins, come before the people. Now, or have you in the past cooperated, participated, or assisted a group known by the acronym ADL, Anti-Defamation League, in the information gathering on other black people? Have you ever done such a thing? And wherever he shows up next that you are, you must ask him that. You got a young, yeah, more yarmulke. The dunce cap. Yeah, be warned. Now, remember, this is an honor. I think this is an honor. Yeah, I'm up to number 2. That is the, y'all may see that? This is the, black public figures and community activists who have promoted anti-Semitism. I'm honored to be number 2. I'm seeking number 1. Move over, Farrakhan. Steve Coakley. Gus Savage, he been on this podium. Sonny Carson in here? Okay, we'll talk about that later. Al Sharpton. Leonard Jeffries. Brother G2. Kwame Ture. Decoy. Lenore Fulani and the New Alliance Party. Shit, all you got to do is call Fred Newman ass. You don't need to smile, huh? Professor Griffin, Public Enemy. Amir Malaka. Ice Cube, LeGrand Clean. And what I was so honored was, I was in part 3 on anti-Semitism on black student campuses. I was in part 2 with Professor Griffin, Public Enemy. I had my own spot in part A. Look at this one here. Part 5, a case study in media bias. The New York Black Press. Radio stations. Now I heard that half-an-hour disclaimer on WMI. We have lived. We in no way, Mr. White Man, have ever, or will we ever promote a sister, help a nigga who wants to overthrow you. The disclaimer is longer than most guest time on the show. I don't know why. Right, say we didn't turn it off. Hey, check this out here. Here's the ADL jacking up. Hey, you want to know why Mickey Lehman went into the mountain? No, let me tell you this, just a little sideline. I was talking earlier about Boule Breakaway. Now watch this pattern. Martin King goes international, dies. Whitney Young goes international, dies in Africa. Even though he was jive Chinese and one of the few athletes to get involved in the South African thing, as funny as it was, Arthur Ashe in '79 refuses to play in South Africa, has a heart attack immediately. Keeps going with the anti-apartheid thing, has another heart attack and is being given the AIDS virus. Or something. Mickey Leland, Boule, Houston, Texas, decides to go to Somalia 3 years before. It's a news story. Check. He sees organized starvation, gets his ass in the airplane, falls into a mountain. Boule Breakaway. Every time a Boule tries to go beyond the domestic confines of the white man, they're birds. Just remember, Malcolm, International, Marcus Garvey, International. The emasculation of the people to the left of their reach. Black-Jewish relations discussed. Chicago Defender, November 5th, 1988. Interestingly enough, when the Memphis spy story appeared in Chicago, was the one part they left out. They left out the George Spindard part. But Robert Abbott is the founder of the Chicago Defender, and you can find Robert Abbott in the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey, because Robert Abbott went to the Justice Department department had demanded that he be locked up and taken off the street for stirring up shit amongst the Negroes. So when the defendant does the story, they leave out leave out Joe Spingard, because his chief understudy was Robert Abbott. And this is saying Ida B. Wells. This is saying a whole bunch of shit we don't even want to swallow yet. And I'm saying, I'm in formation. Next time you see me, I'll have this even better, because I'm spending all my money now to buy the stuff to bring it back to you, because I believe it's up there. No laws, no waste time. Black Jewish relations discussed, Los Angeles. Although they were not on the agenda, Chicago's Jesse Jackson, Stephen Coakley, and Louis Farrakhan were the main concerns of Jewish leaders at a panel discussion of Black Jewish relations at the National Executive Committee meeting of the Anti-Defamation League of B'nai B'rith in Los Angeles last weekend. Panelists were Congressman Julian Dixon, Mickey Leland, and Mel Levine, of Democrat of California, with Shirley F. Bromberg, director of the ADL's Community Service. Check this spot right here. Congressman Leland had not heard of the Coakley incident until some weeks after the Coakley thing. Some weeks after Coakley was fired from his city of Chicago position. He reminded the audience that most people outside of Chicago did not know who Coakley was, and while it may have been important to the Jews, blacks had more urgent problems on their agenda. In other words, he said, nigga, repudiate Coakley. And he said, I don't even know who he is. I got more important things to do. Nigga gets right up and drives into a mountain. And I can show you a meeting at Dillard University in New Orleans where they jacked up another group of guys. And Kenneth B. Clark, I don't even know him, stood up and said, I'm tired of you all yakking on Coakley. He's big time bootleg too, Kenneth B. Clark. But he stood up and said, I'm tired of you other Negroes bucking with this thing. And that was a big ADL meeting, and Dillard then got a $3 million grant to set up the Center for Black Jewish Relations, which is there now. But look up in Wesley's book how much money Dillard got, and Howard got, and Tuskegee got, and Talladega got, and Hampton got from the white man to set up the school anyway. Anyway, this is just another one of them stories where they run it. On the backside, it says, Congressman Dixon, who earlier
Tuskegee Project,
for the way the Jews are organized and how they support each other, business activities, was asked and he felt that this attempt at dialogue was one-sided, insomuch as there were no opportunities for blacks to express their concerns about the behavior of the Jewish community. You see, this is a meeting where they only get in the room to be jacked up about the brother man. Now, Jesse Jackson, of course, has already apologized, went with Edgar Brockman, the Seagram's liquor man, to Brussels, Switzerland, or Brussels, wherever, and got up in front of the National Conference on Zionism, World Zionist Congress, damn it, and called Zionism a liberation movement, as opposed to a murderous, bloody, terrorist, hate group organization. ADL denies any role in police spy network. The Anti-Defamation League has protested the LA Times report. By the way, when the San Francisco state's attorney came up with the subpoenas to raid the offices of the ADL in San Francisco and Los Angeles, the Los Angeles police...
Notice that he just went from New York, California, Sacramento,
Department originally agreed to cooperate.
San Francisco.
But on the day of the raid, Superintendent of Police Bucky Williams refuses to attack the ADL's office and backs off of his legal responsibility to find the LAPD Information Police Department in their files. So he back down in San Francisco, had to go to LA to go into their offices. But check that out, going up in these white boys' offices. Last time I know somebody was in their offices was Sanat Khalis. who took over the office in D.C. when he took over D.C. to attack the killing of his children at his house on 16th Street in Washington. And that had something to do with Lou Alcindor, Kareem Jabbar, who bought the house for him. And he told me that while he had the ADL trial on their knees with their heads between their legs, with swords over their heads, the FBI came in and read the files and allowed them to hold them in hostage longer than necessary to allow them to read the files. And what about this fake Jesus sighting in Waco, Texas? Look, let the motherfucker stay there 47 days or some shit. They wouldn't let us stay 47 minutes. Burned the whole motherfucking community of 61 houses because the loudspeaker was up too high. The move didn't kill nobody. Yahweh didn't kill nobody. Found him not guilty and he's still in jail. Is there justice? It will never be in the name of America. And there will never be justice under the name LA. Anyway, we must do certain things. I just lost a speech in Trenton.
I don't believe that.
Trenton College in New Jersey because the ADL, the Hill
We all gonna do justice. As long as you fight for it. As long as you heal
who
for
have
it.
yet to make up their mind.
As long as you love
It's
for
one
it.
thing you pay to go to a school.
As long as you feel,
10, 12
heal,
hours, you end up in debt. But then somebody
and
has to
love,
stop telling you what to do,
and
the
protect.
administrators. Don't put no money in the pocket. Then other students start telling you what to do. The students told me that they had agreed with the Jewish students not to bring any controversial speakers. I said, name me a white controversial speaker. He said, there are none. I said, name me black controversial. Copley, Farrakhan, Jeffries. He's not going down the list. I said, well, how could you sign on to that, son? He said, oh, brother, we love you. I said, no, you don't. I said, serve me like the one you say you hate. But what you need to know is that the Hillel houses are the ADL spy operation on the college campuses. And you got to go on the campuses and fuck with that Hillel house. Oh, you can put the pressure on, brother. They got to eat. They walk in and out that door every day. Rabbi Schindefella in the UCLA Hillel house know what an ass kicking is about. Ask him. He ain't took nobody to jail. We called that mother and said, you fuck with them students at UCLA over the protocols, we will kick your ass, and my name is Steve. And he withdrew his complaint. He didn't run to the jail. You see, some things jail and law can't do for somebody when you're after them. So don't get caught up in it. Don't appeal to the nation. But you get back in yet? Not yet. Shit, you might as well be the Supreme Court of the new government under the new court of the revolutionary people, because they probably will never let you in this one. And we should start the process of creating the new one. And the new one should be right there on the wall waiting, with the new health system and the new school system, and a real organization for all of our people and not a bootleg or a segmented one. These are things that have to be. And we're just in the process. A whole lot going on. White man want to egg up a little more. We're not interested in Rodney King. That motherfucker got a lot of problems. He ain't never helped us do shit. They ain't promised to give up no money. We will go off, but when we say so, not when they egg so. And look, and when we go off, we know just where we're going. We ain't going none of them pity patty spots either. So we're not falling into that. And overnight, I'm going to tell you just something, a little sidelight as I close, is that over the last couple of weeks, we watched at midnight, 1, 2 a.m., the rail yards were bringing in tanks to the major cities. You go to your rail yards here that are near byways, check to see what's sitting on the track. The tanks are sitting there. They were brought in over the night in most of the cities, and they brought them in overnight so you didn't see them and get apprehensive. But they're there, and we're not afraid of a tank. The tank is a symbolism of what they can do to overpower themselves. No question, no question. And they just can't hold it back. But Rodney King might not be our shot. I don't care what nobody do. Again, the ones that do the violence have a role like the ones who rearrange the furniture in the front room after they bust down the front door. So we're not into saying who can't do what. We're all doing it together. Brother Monk, where you at with yourself. And you got, hey, look, you got to come quick because I got to do this quick. Come on over to this row right here, right now, on the other side, right here on this row. How many of you? Rice. What does rice do? He's a rabbi. And Brother Monk, where you at? Hey, Monk, where you at? Come on quick, brother. Brother Maddox. What'd you say? Brother Monk.
That's what I mean to do.
I hear you, Monk, but I can't see you. Taking up control of its political leadership, taking control of its economy for 50 years, and it says by the time we get through starving Africa, it will be recolonized. That's in the latest issue of Foreign Affairs, called Retreat from Africa. Deep story, deep story. Most newsstands, most bookstores, house organ. Where's the CFR headquarters in Washington and announce regional offices in their area and sign up for mutual sharing of information? When the riots in LA, the rebellion in LA came down, William Webster was the chairman of the committee to investigate. It is no coincidence that the head of the FBI, then head of the CIA, became the person to investigate the rebellion in Los Angeles. That's no
The rebellion in Los Angeles.
accident.
It's no accident. That's the end of it. Gonna start another video. We're gonna have part 3. We're gonna read off these cards. And I'm liking what I see. What I see. Ooh, what the hell? That's the water. Ooh.
And jumps onto a human's boat with safety. It knows we won't hurt it. If it meets you in the water, it'll swim over to check you out. Once it realizes you're a two-legged creature, it might even snuggle up for a hug. That's why people call it the puppy of the sea. With you around, it can relax and fall asleep. But seals can hold around for about 30 minutes. So those holes in the ice are there for them to breathe. When your fur dries, it gets soft and fluffy. Rub its belly and it'll flash its 18 pack, giving you that look that says yes, ticklish spot. Baby seals are even cuter. They waddle over to you begging for milk. They're unique when they grow up. They move just as clumsily. Their short front livers feel like they're running from sea lions. When they move,
They fight like
running
that.
across the ground. If they slap their bellies, that just means they're hungry. But if you tease it with an empty fist, it'll realize you moved, tuck its head in, and look at you with those sad little eyes. A seal panics and rolls itself onto a pillow, thinking it'll never crack up. Most of the time, it's running from orcas and
That's so cute.
Multiple videos have just come out of Donald Trump having a hard time walking, and this comes on the heels of the New York Times
It's
finally
old.
doing a report on the fact that Donald Trump's health is clearly deteriorating. They are talking about a lot of things that we've actually covered here in the channel for a long time, and of course, Donald Trump had that disastrous press conference late last week.
About to have some severe space weather here on Earth as a result of this new active region that's just now rotating into view on the Earth-facing side of the sun. Does not have enough electrical and plasma crackling and fuzzling activity that you usually see before IM class or even X class solar flares. So this sunspot group has already been very active over the past few days. We have our photograph imagery which shows all those coronal mass ejections launching off to the left as we get into the east solar coordinate system. Now it's going to be rotating the view. So we can expect radio blackout on the sunlit side of the Earth anytime there's a big solar explosion from that sunspot group or another. And then if it launches coronal mass ejections our way, that could impact us if it's really quick in about 24, maybe even less hours than that. But typically 2 to 3 days. It depends on velocity. And when you get that impact,
from the sun that's right there. I feel like I got.
So, there's not much need for the external dialogue. I really enjoy when Europeans come.
For sure. Cancel that shit for the whole fucking a whole nother year till next year. Shut they shit completely down. DIYs like a motherfucker. Whole DIYs. Invest into yourself. Invest into your children. It's fucking crazy, yo.
A recent incident with Princess Love. A dude coming in my bedroom with my kids sleep. So allegedly this is overdue. Let's check it out, y'all.
Listen, I'm gonna say this, because I'm not gonna sort of go to where I'm supposed to go. You in my house, got an argument. Alright, we grown ups. And you wanna leave, upstairs, sleep on my bed. You wanna go upstairs and take the kids and wake them up into this grown up argument with shit that happened. Instead of letting them sleep, you wanna snatch her and take her with you. Then you got a dude coming in my bedroom where my kids are asleep, and they're trying to get in my bed and take my kids because all of y'all are drunk. Y'all can't drive these kids drunk. I'm not letting that happen. This dude is coming in my room, getting in my bed to take my kids. I'm going to defend my kids, and I'm going to defend my space. And now, when they call the police, no problem. I'm sure the police will come and I go to jail. I'm not going to pay for it. They're in there snatching my kids out of the bed while they sleep, and they're waking up yelling and screaming and crying. A dude is getting my kids out of the bed, bro. I'm going for my kids. I'm gonna double down on that.
But when you look at the footage online, you have to take accountability as well. She wasn't the only parent that was yelling. I suggest y'all go and look up the footage on your own because I will not be playing it here. Ray J was also yelling. And what made you pull out the fire, bruh? You know better than that. Around the children, that's nasty work, y'all.
Child endangerment.
Listen to Princess Love side of the story. And let's hear what she got to say, y'all.
Did my thing on social media and just like typing my piece. But what I'm not about to do is let him deflect and make it about me. And make and just one word is my mother. I love my children, and I would never leave them in danger, including leaving them with a man who's waving the gun around. I would never leave my kids' lives in danger. I'm the best mother. I do it alone. I take my
I mean, he already put her out the car in the limo, fucking on the highway. And don't forget that.
while you're out there trying to run the road, terrorizing women.
Terrorizing women.
So you should have did your Thanksgiving alone. But you to sit up there and say, you better not start nothing before I come over there. Why would you have to say don't start nothing? That leads me to believe that you know what this person is like. Hell, we not in the same household as Ray J, the people on the internet. We know what he acts like.
Right,
So you have to hold yourself accountable as well. You should have just prevented the whole thing, had your children, cooked your food in your new house, and just chilled out. Because obviously, it seemed like Ray J didn't want to be bothered with.
Using women. What I'm not about to do is let you flex and not take accountability for your actions, for pulling a gun out on me and my cousin's husband because I was trying to take my kids and leave your house. I agreed to come over there and cook for Thanksgiving because I wanted you to be around your kids. With me present, because the last time I left them with you, they found you naked in a bed with a woman. And when I tried to ask you about it, you told me myself. And then I don't run shit over there. So, take accountability, Greg, do better. Take yourself into rehab.
Check yourself into rehab. My point, my sentiments exactly, because if his mama and his sister, his family didn't get into it and whack 100 and bail him out, that says a whole lot in itself. On to the next video. Don't forget to say your words of affirmation to yourself every day. Teach yourself, teach your children, to teach people you don't know. Teach yourself most of all, so and be the example of, right? Love yourself. Love yourself. I'm looking at these little face emojis right now. Like, what the fuck? Crazy work. Love yourself. Be the example of. Forgive people for you, not for them. You don't have to ask them for forgiveness. Like, will you forgive me? Find that within yourself. And when you find that within yourself, you find peace. Understand? Whew, give grace and peace where it needs to be, because boy, let me tell you, these demons out here crashing out. Don't be a part of the crash out. Be a part of the healing. So